So what you're hearing is actually a duplicate of what the main keyboard was playing. And so why do I have to do this? Remember, this is a worship song that has a lot of spiritual undertone. So you have to enable the atmosphere. You as a sound engineer should be that enabler, right? You have to be that vehicle that will transport worshiper from this realm into a spiritual realm. So in an attempt to do this in our own little way, we try to get an atmosphere from the piano. Let me play the real piano so that you understand what is happening. So this is what he's playing. Like I said, this is the main keys guy. So he's only playing this. Now let me just unmute the shimmer so you could tell the difference, and you should also feel the atmosphere that is adding to the entire main keys stuff. Have you ever wondered why every object around you responds to your spirit, your body, and your soul? God created everything in the universe, including all objects around us, and He gave us dominion to rule over them. So ruling over them means when you speak out life, you speak life into this thing, it will respond to you. Mixer is not an object. Mixer is a person. It shows reasons why mixer is just one, and you have 5 engineers with 5 different results because it responds to us differently. For the past month, we have been rehearsing mixing on board, regardless of the type. I'm not here showcasing Beringa Wing, but like I said, it must do my bidding. It must respond to my spirit, my body, and my soul. This guy's on its own does not have its natural intelligence, just artificial intelligence that must be triggered by our natural intelligence. Like I was saying, what I want to achieve in Livesound is to bring in real time the finished work of post-production. Bring it back to Livesound, that the whole event is happening real time. When you hear BGV singing, you will be mistaking live BGV as a backing track stems. When you hear keyboard and every other auxiliary activity, you'll be thinking they were playing alongside stems. That it is possible for you to become that stems, right? Mixer is no longer an object. Mixer is a person. So whatever you inject into this, it responds to you. And to my engineers friends out there who condemn mixer, kindly bear in mind that you're not condemning this object, you are condemning yourself. When you say this mixer does not have preamp, so be it. When you now say this mixer cannot perform the task we are about to inject into it, so it will come to pass. So the words of your mouth is stamped in heaven. So that's why whatever it is, make sure your proclamations, the words you utter, they are positive. It goes live. For the 3rd time, this mixer is not, a mixer is not an object. A mixer is a person. Because everything we are doing responds to first law of motion. Everybody will continue to remain at a state of rest unless acted by an external force. It will be like that. So that external force cannot be another object. it got to be human. He has a body, spirit, and soul. So this body part interact. Body part is the interface that, touch this stuff, right? The soul part of it is the thinking, the intellect, where we have a lot of wisdoms, a lot of stuff that you had downloaded over time, which is why it's really good for you to practice mixing. Whatever you practice stays here. So the day you are going to download it, everything around you must do your bidding. So the spirit part of the whole thing is the ability of this stuff to affect life while you are mixing. And that's the part that I want you guys to develop. Scripture says spiritual thing does not make sense to a carnal-minded person, right? So if you are doing sound for church, you got to be spiritual actually, because it must respond to you and it must be operational in some ultrasonic frequencies that is beyond auditory range of frequencies, which you all know. So this must do our bidding. So in today's episode, we have band that consists of drummer, bass guitarist, electric guitarist, 3 background vocal, lead vocal. So there's main keys, there's auxiliary keys, and the main keys is playing pad. Let me give you an example of the pad stuff that he's playing. Okay, we also have an acoustic guitar. Let me just play so you hear. All right, so the pad. So sometimes when they don't play this pad, I would rather play from my end. And one thing about pad is something that you should not hear. It's something you felt. And I'm going to also explain the part of hearing the sound and feeling. These are two different things. So this is the entire sound, right? So I'm playing from the multi-track. So it's in my vision to make sure the sound here is, number one, larger than life. When you look at the BG video, we are just 3. But when you hear the sound, it's sounding more than 3 BGVs.
Come on, raise the sound. Yo. Hey. Now lift your voice.
So it's sounding much more than 3 BGVs. That is 1. Number 2, we had just 2 keyboard, right? I did something extra that creates this ambience that you are feeling right now. I duplicated main keys into a channel, and since this mixer is loaded with a lot of effects, among the effects is shimmer pad. So I inserted shimmer pad on this key.
As we sing, come on. Oh, Jesus.
Let me just mute every other thing. So I don't know if you can see this. So what you're hearing is actually a duplicate of what the main keyboard was playing. And so why do I have to do this? Remember, this is a worship song that has a lot of spiritual undertone. So you have to enable the atmosphere that can pierce asunder into someone's spirit for transformation, for encounter, for breakthrough, and for every other thing that a worshiper is requesting or is trusting God for. So you as a sound engineer should be that enabler, right? You have to be that vehicle that will transport worshiper from this realm into a spiritual realm. So in an attempt to do this in our own little way, we try to get an atmosphere from the piano. Let me play the real piano so that you understand what is happening. So this is what he's playing. Like I said, this is the main keys guy. So he's only playing this. Now let me just unmute the shimmer so you could tell the difference, and you should also feel the atmosphere that is adding to the entire main keys stuff. So this is what is happening. Each time I am on wings, I create an auxiliary main key just to have this backup. So that is one element from the keys. Number two, there's a pad going on, right? And the intention also is to create what you are feeling. Is a trigger, a catalyst that will transform you from this physical realm into a spiritual realm. It's just a floating pad on the key that is being played, right? So when you add this ambient pad with the duplicate of the main keys, this is what you have. It's so immersive. So immersive. Now when you add the auxiliary key, what this guy is playing, this is also what we have, right? So let me open the main keys. All right, let's just see or hear what the guitarist, both the bass and the e-guitar is playing, an acoustic guitar. Let me mute the bass guitar. Because we have two different guitarists, right? I have to pan e-guitar one side and pan acoustic guitar the other side, just to give way for lead vocal and to also create that space in the mix is really very important. Like I said, we want to achieve finished product in real time, such that when I give you stereo, say take this was from an event, you will not believe me. Why? Because your ears is trying to pick up what your eyes cannot comprehend. Literally your eyes is just seeing this theme, but what your ear is hearing is larger again than life. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And because I gave myself this goal, trusting God that in this lifetime I will achieve it, it will come to pass. And so because I don't want to be too ambiguous with processing, that's why I just say, okay, let me even start with stock plugin from Wings. There's no external plugin. So what I do subsequently is to listen to reference material, score the sound from the reference material, and then become that reference material again with stock plugin. Whatever you are hearing is organically from this console. And one more thing I do is I go to Waves, maybe from Super Rack, study the behavior of each of these plugins, and I attempt to replicate the same thing here. I understand that both has different engine that might not be able to translate accurately the sampling of audio in these machines, but at least what we have in Wave can give us 25 or 30%. So I had to optimize that. All right, having said all these things, there's a new thing I'm introducing. There's a bus that I created. So I patched all the keys, all guitars except bass guitar into the bus and use compression to glue everything together, sounding as one. And at the same time, I try to excite the group so that it is clean, it's crisp, and it's bright. And at the same time, I mounted multi-band compression on the board. Right? So I want to show you guys the workings of this group. Alright, so this is it. Can you come closer, please?
Come on, raise the sound. Your God is here. Leave here the same way you came.
So let me take it back again.
You know he's
Alright, so what we did was, like I say, we patched main keys, auxiliary keys, e-guitar, acoustic guitar into an all related part into this bus and mounted all these plugins. So first of all, there's a compressor that is gluing everything together. All right, okay, you can hear me. So as you can see, I had to patch my microphone into this so that you understand the gluing part of this compression. It's because my mic is really hard, that's why it's docking, right? So let me just shift my mic away so you hear what is happening. So this compressor glue everything together as one. So technically there were three different groups. There were three different groups on this board. The first group is drums, second group is BGVs, and the third group is all keys and every other line instrument together that does not use microphone. It's together. So compressor is actually binding all together. Then after the compression, there's a multi-band, one of the dynamic compressor that emulates C5 from waves. So it tamed what is too loud. As you can see, there are activities going on. Then after that, I excited these guys because when we were playing the keys, or when we were playing the keys, there were some parts that us guys were playing bell sound and it needed to be fired, and it also needed to be creeps. So all this is in an attempt to make everything live and excited. So technically, I am remastering all the line level and strings instrument just before it gets to left and right. So finally, there's this stereo imager that further spread all these elements together. So you can choose to be very narrow or very wide, and that's exactly what you see. So when you now hear the entire mix, everything is a kind of blending. When you hear the keys,
it's your redeemer. Come on, my God.
So that explains the binding force.
Jesus, you're the God. Come on, lift your voice. Yeah, your pride. Come on, lift your voice. Come on, come on. To me.
All right. One more thing. On this board, all the mixing went through 3 different stages. We have channel strip processing. Then, like I said, everything went through 3 different groups. Outside bass guitar, lead vocals. right? Drums has its subgroup, BGV had its subgroup, and then the keys and every other thing subgroup. So the subgroup is a pre-mastering of the active of what went through channel strips. So in the end, everything got to left and right. And so from Wave, there's this plugin, mastering plugin, that has extra plugins under. So in a bit to have saturation effect on the mix down, we mounted this plugin. Again, as if it was an emulation of Abbey Road. Is there a citer or something? So this excites some high frequency, and then we tried to make sure the entire mix sounded so metallic that you could pick all the pin. Let me see if I can play some part of the sound here so you understand what is happening.
Jesus reign, reign in our midst, reign in Nigeria, reign in our lives. Oh, come on, somebody, say heaven and earth adore you. I join them to bow. Say you're beautiful, you're beautiful. One more time, heaven and earth adore you. I join them to bow.
All right. I guess we're going to continue again.
Come on. My God, there is nothing like your presence. My God. I'm taking on this now. Now get this. Alabarabi arao. Jude, can you tell? Your God is here. You can't live here the same. You know it's your source. It's your redeemer. Come on. My God. Where the sound? Hey, everybody say, all day. All day. All day. All day. All day. Hey, all day. I am it can take some. When you can, oh, take party. You know it's your source. Redeemer, come on.